Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're putting on our detective hats. We're going to crack a case that happens thousands of times a day in warehouses all over the world. And in the process, we'll expose some of the hidden digital logic that really powers global commerce. Our mission? To solve the case of the missing delivery.
So, to understand just how high the stakes are, just look at this quote. It really says it all, doesn't it? A missing delivery isn't just a small hiccup. It's a total breakdown of the entire supply chain. Everything just stops.
All right, here's our game plan for today. Think of this as our investigation board. We'll start with the case file, check out the scene of the crime, and then we're going to interrogate our main suspects. After we meet the gatekeepers, we'll be ready to deliver the final verdict. So our case kicks off with a problem that sounds simple but is actually super critical. A customer has placed an order, the system says, yep, got it, but when the warehouse team goes to actually get it ready for shipment, they hit a brick wall. That sales order is completely stuck. It just refuses to become a delivery, which means nothing is getting shipped out. Now, you might be thinking, this is just some big corporate headache, but have you ever seen this yourself? You place an order and it's just stuck on processing forever. Well, what we're about to dig into is very often the exact reason why that happens. It's this incredibly complex dance of data that has to be absolutely perfect for your package to even start its journey to you. Every good detective starts with a quick sweep of the crime scene, right? They're looking for the obvious clues. Well, in the world of big enterprise software, we call this triage. We're just looking for the simple stuff first, the things that usually solve like 80% of the cases right off the bat. And the first question is so simple, it's almost funny, but it's absolutely essential. Did someone already create the delivery? An investigator just checks the order's status. If it says completed, well, case closed. But if it's still open, our mystery gets deeper. Okay, now this is our first major clue. The order might say the customer wants 10 units, but see that other field, confirmed quantity? If that field says 0, that's the system basically screaming, hey, I can't promise something that I don't actually have. This is not a glitch, it's a deliberate stop. And this clue tells us exactly where to look next, the stock itself. So if the quantity isn't the problem, another super common clue is just a simple timing mistake. A warehouse worker might tell the system, hey, I want to ship this out today. But the system, in its infinite wisdom, knows that the stock isn't actually scheduled to be available until next Friday, so it refuses. It makes sense, right? You can't ship something that isn't ready. It's a classic case of jumping the gun. So with these first clues, let's go meet our first suspect. So get this. The system is saying there's no stock, but the warehouse manager is literally standing there looking at a whole pallet of the stuff. This leads us to our first prime suspect, phantom stock. It's inventory that seems to be there, you can see it and touch it, but as far as the system is concerned, it's just an illusion. And the key to understanding this is a concept called available to promise, or ATP stock. The easiest way to think about it is like your bank account. You might have $1,000 in there, that's your physical stock. But if you've got $950 in bills scheduled to be paid, your available balance is only $50. ATP is the system's available balance for inventory. And this slide just illustrates that difference perfectly. One screen, which we're calling the illusion, shows the total physical count in the warehouse. But the other screen, the reality, shows what's actually free to be sold after you subtract all the other customer orders that have already called dibs on that stock. This is the aha moment where our detective finds the truth and realizes, oh, that stock was already spoken for. Okay, so let's say we've confirmed we actually do have the stock. Now our next suspect comes into play. Bad directions. You see, the system can have all the product in the world, but if it doesn't know where to ship it from, it's not going to do a thing. And this very specific location is called a shipping point. And we're not just talking about the warehouse address. No. It's the exact spot, like loading dock B, or the parcel post corner over there, or maybe the refrigerated goods area. Without that one tiny specific detail, the system is totally lost. So how in the world does the system figure out this exact location? Well, it's not just a guess, it's a formula. And just like a good detective, the system pieces together 3 key clues to find its answer. And here's exactly how our investigator would interrogate that formula. First up, the shipping condition from the customer's file. Is it set to standard delivery? Next, the loading group from the material itself. Does this thing need a forklift to move it? And finally, the plant. Is a correct warehouse even listed on this order? If even one of those clues is missing, the whole formula fails, and that delivery stays stuck. This brings us to our final group of suspects, and honestly, they aren't really suspects at all. They're more like security guards just doing their jobs. We call them the gatekeepers. These are intentional, system-applied blocks that stop a delivery for a really good reason.
And what's so interesting here is that these blocks are basically business rules in action. The system is programmed to ask some really critical questions before it does anything, like, has this customer actually paid their bills? Are we legally even allowed to ship to this country? Do we have all the right paperwork? And if the answer to any of those is no, well, the gate comes crashing down.
A credit block is just a perfect example of this. So a customer orders more stuff than their credit limit allows. The system, acting like a little financial guardian, automatically freezes that order. It's not a bug at all, it's a feature, and it's designed to stop the company from losing money. The delivery simply cannot go forward until an actual person in the finance department gives it the green light. Okay, we've reviewed the evidence, we've interrogated the suspects, and we understand the motives of the gatekeepers. I think it's time to deliver the verdict in our case. And here it is. The verdict is this powerful quote from our source material that just wraps everything up so neatly. The problem is rarely a bug or some kind of glitch. The system isn't broken. In fact, it's doing its job perfectly, enforcing all the complex rules of business and logistics. So, in the end, we see the system not as some faulty machine, but as a really diligent guardian. Every single check, every block, every error message, it's all there for a reason, to protect the company from making really costly mistakes. Our investigation didn't uncover a crime. It uncovered a highly logical and, frankly, brilliant system of self-preservation. So, we solved the case of the missing delivery, and we did it by uncovering the invisible logic working behind the scenes. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? As all these products are moving around the globe, from a factory to a port to your front door, what other incredibly complex hidden rules are being checked and enforced every single second of every day to make it all happen?